Yay! Happy Monday! This is Charity Murphy, and I'm so excited to have my special guest on with me again this week. This is my friend, Dr. Barbara Fralinger.
Doctor of
Well, don't
Love.
give me that look, because you gotta own that, sister. You're a doctor, and I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I try.
So today we're going to be talking to you all about something that is very common in our industry, and that is spousal support. Now, are we talking about getting okay, because the first thing I think of spousal support, I think of getting divorced and getting money from my ex-husband. But that isn't what we're here to talk about today. Barbara
Yeah.
and I have been professional network marketers for combined 15 years. And so we're talking today about something that is so common in our industry. So many people say, oh, my husband, he doesn't support me in my dreams, or my wife doesn't believe that this whole network marketing thing can work. And this is something that I've dealt with in my own personal life. In my previous marriage, my ex-husband, he really didn't understand what I was doing or even why I wanted to do it. And we talked about this in a previous live stream. If you'd like to know more, you can check that out. But Barbara, why don't you share your unique perspective on this? Because you don't have a spouse that you have to worry about.
No, I don't. And you know what? After hearing and some of these stories that I've heard over the last 5 years, I'm kind of glad because like I could just never imagine somebody influencing my ability to do something if I really wanted to go for something. I can't imagine somebody who supposedly loves me and is supposed to support me in everything I do, completely getting upset that I'm going for something. So my perspective on it has been on the person as the person who witnesses it in my downline. I've had several people, and I just mostly women. This has happened with me, who were amazing business partners. They had great potential, and then I would notice they would get to a certain point in their business and they would just stop. And a lot of it was because they weren't getting the support at home. And what it
Mhm.
comes down to is when you're building a business, any kind of business, it's going to take time and you're not going to make money at first. And a lot
Yeah.
of times, the spouses, in this case, what I was seeing a lot of was the husbands were kind of just not on board and they were thinking selfishly, well, this is taking away from her time with me and she's not even making any money with it. She's on her
Right.
phone. And these are things that I've actually heard. So it's not like
Yes.
I'm just saying this. So she's on her phone, she's taking away from family time. And then they would do things that were underhanded. They would say things like, "Oh, so you're going to go to that event and you're not going to stay
Yeah.
here and spend time with your family, with your child who you haven't
Mhm.
seen in a couple days." And it was this whole manipulation thing. But then if they did start to make a little bit of money, I would notice that the husbands would back off. But because this business is something that has to be built over time and you're going to have highs and lows, the thing is the husbands don't realize how much of a big support they can be in a positive way and
Mhm.
help catapult their wives.
Yeah.
Like if a woman, and I'm just going to say it, if a woman has a good man 110% behind her, like
Mhm.
working along with her and supporting her, that women need an anchor. And I really feel that way. Like women, they can just go above and beyond when they have a spouse or a significant other who is their anchor, who is their rock, and
Mhm.
I really see that in the couples that explode and do well in this. It's because they
Mhm.
have a spouse that is cheering them on and a lot of times even helping them build.
Mhm.
And that's just what I first of all, nobody's going to tell me what to do.
I know. I know. And I mean, I
That's my
have
problem. That's probably why I'm not married.
and I'm married. and I'm married for the second time. And I remember when I did sign up for my network marketing company almost 9 years ago, I signed up and I didn't tell my husband. That could be part of mistake number one, is not sharing that with your husband, because but then again, I think I was afraid that he would say no or make fun of me, which he did. He told me so many different things. And something that I've even heard more recently is that, oh, you just play on your phone or you just play on your computer, and not really seeing the big picture and what this is about. So, Barbara and I wanted to share some 5 of our best tips on how to get spousal support when it comes to doing a network marketing business. Let's see, is that on the screen? Yes, it is. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up here. So the first one is that it's so important to share your vision and your dream for what you want to do with the business. Most of the time, if you're like us, you see somebody on the internet and they're doing great. You really have been watching them for 6 or 8 months and they're doing such a great job in their business. And you've had that time to build a relationship with what they're doing, the vision of the end goal. Like, say you want to take your kid on a family, or your family on a family vacation, or you want to have a little extra money for gas. You've had all of this invested time getting to know this person and this company for so long that when your husband or wife, because it happens with wives too, I've actually witnessed that, an unsupportive wife at an event who was actually, this lady was very upset to even be there. And I was like, oh, wow, that's not normal. But it happens both ways. It is really important to share the dream and the vision with your spouse so that they can get on board. And just because you may have had a really long time to adjust to the idea, your husband or wife may be blindsided when you tell them, I'm signing up for this network marketing thing, I'm getting us out of debt, and we're going on family vacation, and we're going to buy a home on a private island. Which, they could be like, wow, that sounds interesting. Sure. What has that person on the internet been telling you? So I can talk about this and go on and on and on, but go ahead and what do you think about this?
Well, what I think is, if you're going to do something like this, I agree. You need to share it with them right away, and you need to
Yeah.
express to them how serious you are about building a
Yeah.
business. And
Right.
you need to get them on the phone with the person,
Right.
who has signed you up, or you have to show them the videos that you've been given in terms of the compensation plan and that kind of thing. And really, just from day one, say, look, this is a business model. Here is this person who's, approached me about it. I've done my research, and I'm really thinking I want to go for this. And then get them to an event as well, because I know a lot of husbands, until they actually are in the environment, they don't think that it's a real thing. So if
Right.
you sign up for something and then you begin to work it, and they're still kind of unsure, take them to an event with you and have them see what you're doing,
Right.
because a lot of companies have regional events or yearly events, or even
Mhm.
if you know someone locally who's doing the same thing, have them meet up with a person who has been successful in it and who can act better. Because when you first sign up, you don't know anything. I didn't know anything when I first signed up about the compensation plan or anything like that, or how anything worked. I just kind of who enrolled me. So that's why I kind of just thought, well, I'm going to go for it. But
Mhm.
I know if I had a spouse or a family, I would have to consider other people, and I would have needed to explain what I was doing in such a way that, you know, I would have to get all of my information first. But
Right.
I really just think that a lot of people are skeptical when their spouse starts to do something, if they've looked at their past behavior and have seen something in terms of, well, he or she has done these things before and hasn't fully committed, and then it ends up being a waste of money. So even if it's not network
Right.
marketing, maybe they know their character.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they know how they've been with other ventures, and they kind of
Right.
think, well, well, this is just going to be something else that they're wasting money on.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's so true that, maybe you don't have the best track record with following through on your word, and maybe past experiences have told them that, she's probably going to invest a whole bunch of money and then like drop out, and this is just going to be another thing because that's what they did the last time. So that's
Right.
why I like our step number 2, which is show me the money. Because when you show them the money, and I love that movie, McGuire.
Jerry Maguire.
I could not think of the name of it. Jerry Maguire, he's on the chair and he's like, show me the money! Show me the money! And I really love that because you do need to show your spouse the money. Like, what is the potential? And not just showing up and showing them the money, but actually, which is the step 3 for our getting spousal support is, oh, that's the wrong one, is actually following through on your word. Because you know what? If you have this idea, this vision, this goal, and you're not actually following through with the word, and you've been doing the business for a while, well, yeah, they're going to think it's just another hobby or just another like thing that you're doing. If you're not showing them the money, which is like proof in the pudding, like, are you actually getting a paycheck? Are you following through on your commitments? Are you holding meetings or talking to people or selling products to move your business ahead? Because of course, if you've been doing a network marketing business, or any business for that matter, and you've been putting money in for a year or 2 or 3 and not making a paycheck, well, of course they're not going to believe you. Of course they're not going to support you. You actually have to follow through on your word, which is maybe for you easier said than done.
Now, I'm not, obviously a relationship expert. However, if it were me, if it were me and my husband came to me and said that he wanted to do this business, the first thing I would do is I would say, tell me all about it and how can I help?
Yeah.
That would be my perception. I don't see that happening a lot with this.
Yeah.
And I really don't know if it's a pride thing, if it's I don't know, a skepticism thing, or
Mhm.
if and I don't know the dynamics of every relationship, but I can say that what I have seen over the years teaching a lot of relationship courses and communication and all of that is that people do not know how to express what it is that they really feel and want. And a lot of times they're afraid to commit to something because they know that they're going to have integrity, and they
Mhm.
know that they're going to have to follow through. And
Yeah.
I could see how someone would say, all right, you want to really go for this? Then let's come up with a plan together and go at it together. And how can I help? And then if
Right.
that person isn't really ready to truly work the business, and they're really not, they get into it just because they think it's going to be a fun thing, but
Yeah.
but they're serious, but they think it's going to be just a fun thing, and they don't realize that it's an actual business. I think that, it kind of causes this, well, are we in or are we out? What are you doing with
Right.
it? Right. And just be
Right.
honest and have integrity with how you feel every step of the way. Like, you're
Yeah.
going to have days when you feel as though this isn't working out, or this is
Mhm.
this is just, but as long as you're consistently putting forth action, I think that your partner will want to help you when they see that maybe you're struggling, but it's something you really want. They're going
Mhm.
to say, how can I help you with this? Because I see that you're really serious about it. So you need to be serious about it. And you need, okay, and I'm pointing already. You need,
I
so
know. It's just
that's
something
all.
that's so common in our industry. So,
Yes, yes, yes. So that's all I'm going to say about that, because I've never been married, so I really can't say. But
right.
I've been in
Yeah.
relationships, and again, nobody's told me that I can or can't do something. So I don't, I mean, I've never had experience with that. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And the same for me. I mean, I really think that it's important what you were saying is making sure that you're showing up, which is our fourth tip, is to make sure you show up for your business. If you guys, if you really are serious about building a business, you have to show up and you have to show your spouse that it's important to you. And so if you are going on a family vacation and you take a month off of your business and you
mhm.
don't do anything to move your business forward, well, of course your spouse isn't going to support you because, again, he or she is just going to view it as, oh, this is just kind of like a little phase that she's in or he's in, and I'm not going to support her in it. So if you really want to make an income and make a difference in your family finances, if that's your goal, or go on that family vacation, you better be showing up and earning the trips. Barbara and I just came back from Mexico where we had earned, this was my ninth trip that I had earned with my company, and year fifth, I believe. Is it or fourth?
Yeah, it was like fourth with the company, fifth or sixth with my team. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, show up, go on those trips, make it a goal to earn those trips, and really just show your spouse that this is something that is really important to you. It is so important to show up. And I know when I had first earned my first trip, my ex husband, he was on deployment. And so he wasn't able to go with my daughter and I, our daughter and I, but I think it pretty much made a big impact in his belief in me and the business that here his wife was on a 7-day Caribbean cruise with our daughter and he wasn't. And it was kind of like, oh, and also showing up with the paychecks. Very early on, I was earning enough money to pay for a landscaper, which was something that my husband at the time really wanted for us in our family. While it wasn't really important to me, it was important to him. And when I was able to buy the monthly landscaping for our family, he was like, "Oh my gosh, wow, this business really does work." You have to show up and show them that it's possible and not flake out. If you say you're going to do it, you have to do it, not just do it every so often.
Right, right. And that is kind of comes down to your character with things,
Yep.
and previous experiences. It's not that you can't change and be a different person, because I do believe that if you're passionate enough about something, you will do the
Mm-hmm.
work to change, to be a person of integrity and show up and do what you want. But I think you just have to have the passion for it. And
Yeah.
I think that, when you show that person that you have that passion, then they're gonna, they might wait and just watch for a while, but more than likely, they're probably going to join you in it if they see how passionate you are about it. And then
That's
they
right.
see, I can't tell you how many times that, like the spouse will say, wait, you're making what did you make this
Yeah.
week? And then they'll take a second look at it. But
Right.
and a lot of times, you as the person working the business, if you know that you have a spouse that is not going to be supportive with it, obviously tell them about it, and involve them to a point, and just let them know things that are going on. But you're going to have to, again, be your own cheerleader, and that comes back to the personal development and
Mm-hmm.
going into, building yourself up and just saying, I'm going to prove them wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to prove them wrong, and I'm going to build this, and then when I get to a certain point, they're going to see what's happening with this, and then they're going to be more inclined maybe to join me. But if not, then that's okay too.
Right.
There's several people who are very successful who don't have their spouses joining in with them, even though they respect them and they support them. It's just not their thing, so they're not in the business. But it's just the fact that you as a person can't let someone else's opinion of whether or not you're going to be successful in something,
Mm-hmm.
or dictate how you are in your business, regardless, show up every day, do
Yep.
what it takes, become the person that you would
Mhm.
like to be, who you would be inspired by, become that person, get all the tools necessary, and just go for it every single day, chipping away a little bit at a time.
Right, right. Because I mean, if you are joining a legit company
Yeah.
and you're showing up and doing it, you should obviously see results. But of course, be wary of the ones that say you're going to be a millionaire and with
Right, right.
they're signing up. That doesn't happen. That it takes time, and you have to show up and do the work. Otherwise, you're not going to ever see the results that you want. And one thing that has always fired me up is whenever somebody tells me I can't, I make it my personal mission to show up and prove them wrong. And for me, maybe that's not the most healthy mindset, but it feels pretty darn good when you can prove them wrong. Use
Hmm.
the negativity, turn it around into a positive, and let that fuel your fire.
Yeah.
Let that light you up, and make sure you're surrounding yourself with other people who are positive and going to help you grow your business. I would like to caution you that if you are in this situation, don't sit and commiserate with your girlfriends about how your spouse doesn't support you, because that's only going to hinder your success. Um, so, tip number 5 is to set boundaries. And this is so important because if you are sitting on your phone when you're supposed to be having family time and you're just, scrolling through the news feed, liking photos, messaging people, do you really think your spouse is going to be really supportive if you are not focusing on what matters most? Which means, the people around you. Having boundaries set in your business is so important for your family relationships. And I always share this. I'm sure you've heard this story before, Barbara, but I remember a time when I didn't have very good boundaries set in my business. I was on vacation with my daughter, and I was just recently single mom. And I was determined to get that last final posted on whatever it was that I was talking about. It was something that was so stupid and so meaningless. But my daughter, who was 4 at the time, came, closed my computer, put it in a drawer, and said, "Mom, let's go play." And at that point, I thought, what am I doing? This is my daughter. She's only going to be this age once. I really need to show up, and I need to have better boundaries on my life. And I know that that's something that was very sensitive to my husband at the time. That if I was messaging people when we're supposed to be out on a date or whatnot, it's not very good boundaries for you, and it's not going to have a very good effect on your marriage, as well as those messages on Facebook. They can wait, but you need to make sure you have boundaries on your business. Otherwise, your business will run you, especially if you're running it on Facebook or other social media. And it's not smart.
Well, here are some tips that I have on that too,
Yeah.
because this is what I see, okay? People tell me all the time they don't have time to run their business. And then, of course, when I see that they are on Facebook, because I see that they're on the chat with Messenger,
Yes.
and I see that they're on there, I'm like, okay, they say they don't have time for their business. And I know they're on Facebook right now,
Yeah.
and they're not doing the things that they need to be doing to actually advance their business forward. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
If you are on Facebook and you have a business, Facebook is now your business. It is not the time to
Right.
be scrolling the news feed. It's not the time to be, just wasting, that time doing things that are not going to be productive. Do
Right.
the things that you need to get done, because honestly, the things that you need to do, which is, friending people, adding yourself to groups, making new friendships, commenting on a few people's posts or whatever, just to engage and get to know them better, sending out, your messages that you're either following up with people or new invitation messages or just reaching out. Hey, how you doing? All of that takes a total of about 20 minutes focused time. Do
Mm-hmm.
not waste that time doing things like scrolling the news feed, right? Because
Right.
then you can get a lot of work done in 20 to 30 minutes. And, but the problem I see is that people don't know, like, they feel like, well, do I really want Facebook to be my business, or do I want it just to be social, or do I want it to work? People work during
Right.
the 20 or 30 minutes that you've allotted for your business, and then turn off the notifications on your phone from Messenger and Facebook. That's what
Mm-hmm.
I've done. I have to actually go into my Facebook or my Messenger now, like, to see if someone has messaged me or whatever, because I don't want to be interrupted when I'm with my family, or when so I have set those boundaries. I mean, obviously, my situation is a little bit different because I have more time to devote to this because I don't have my own family, but I do have nieces and nephews and siblings and parents that are kind of like my children right now. And anyway, so, but yes, so, everybody has something. So,
That's right.
having the allotted time, your business does not have to take over your life if you do the right things and make it and kind of compartmentalize.
That's right. That's right. And it's so important to have your boundaries because like you were just saying, if you're spending your entire day just scrolling and liking pictures and not doing anything every single day to move your business forward, then guess what? You're not going to get the spousal support because your husband or wife does not see you moving forward in your business.
Right.
And also part of boundary setting, I think it's really important to say, husband or wife, I know we're going on vacation, which I've done this with my husband because I've learned to have better boundaries, getting divorced and remarried again. I tell him, husband, I need to plan to work at least half hour every single day. And so I set that before we actually go on vacation. And I'm not leaving it up to chance. I'm setting that boundary that, yeah, this is important and this is what I'm going to be doing. And I let him know ahead of time. And that way it definitely helps with having better spousal support and boundaries. It doesn't seem like, oh, hey, wait a minute, I need to be on Facebook and I know we're at lunch on a date or whatever. It's better to have that conversation beforehand and set those boundaries on your business and on your time together. Super
Yeah,
important.
exactly. This business is supposed to give you more time freedom so that you
Mm-hmm.
can have that time with your family,
Right.
and to do the things that you want to do. So don't let it consume you. I mean, I've had to put myself in check with that a few times. Obviously, don't let it consume you to the point where
Right.
you're missing out on the important things.
Right. Like that vacation with my daughter, that was so heartbreaking. But, your kids sometimes could be your biggest lessons in life. And
Mm-hmm.
so I've gotten a lot better about setting boundaries on my time. I used to be like, oh my gosh, there's a message at 11 p.m. at night. I know I'm just about to go to bed, but my phone just dinged. So I'm going to message that person back. And that's just not really a smart use of your time or your energy. So make sure that you do have a set schedule when you are working your business each and every day. And if it's during family time or on the weekends when everybody's home, just make sure you set that expectation for your business and your family so everybody's on board with that. And include your family, include your husband in your business or your wife, and include your kids. My daughter, she told me, Mom, when I grew up, I want to do what you do because I don't want to have to be on my feet all day and I don't want to have to go to an office. And, that's pretty awesome because she doesn't know any other way. She's always had her mom home with her.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very thankful for that because she sees it as a positive now at 10 years old. Whereas when she was 4, it was a negative. The business was always like interfering with our fun. So set boundaries. I can't say enough about that. It will really help you in your life as well as in your business and your relationships if you do have boundaries set.
Yes. Well, I love this today. This was so good.
too. Me too. So we will be back next week. It won't be on Monday because I get to take my daughter to visit with her dad for summer vacation. So stay tuned. We'll be back on next week. And I hope those tips were helpful for you. If you are starting in your network marketing business or thinking about it, definitely use the tips that we shared. They've definitely helped me in my business, and I hope that they will help you in yours too.
Yes. All right.
Thank
Thanks so much.
you.
See you later.
All right, bye.